Yeah, I look at it like we're tomorrow. We're moving to tomorrow.
3.
State has it spread out right now. A lob to Bailey, 25 seconds left. Thurl gets it back to Gannon, out of Wittenberg at the center line. Now long in the left corner. Back down to Bailey on the left sideline. To Gannon in the middle. They're spread in four corners. Back to Wittenberg. 14, 13. Now to Gannon. Gannon back to low. 10 seconds. Now Sidney goes to Bailey in the corner. 5 seconds left to Wittenberg. Wittenberg tries about a 30-footer. No good. Step back. Lorenzo Charles.
That's Wally Osley with a call to one of the truly great moments in NC State basketball history. Lorenzo Charles picking Derek Wittenberg's missed shot right out of the air and slamming it right through the basket at the buzzer to give the Wolfpack the 1983 NCAA National Championship over Houston in one of the biggest upsets in the history of college basketball. Hello, everybody. This is Gary Hahn along with Gary Dornberg and our Capital Sports Network crew courtside at Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh for the next half hour or so before our regular pregame show for today's NC State Duke game. We invite you to listen to a special live broadcast as NC State University honors the 10th anniversary of the Wolfpack's 1983 National Championship team. Gary, you were part of the radio team that broadcast every game back in 1983. This has to be a real walk down memory lane for you.
Oh, it is indeed. It's great seeing these guys coming back, the Thurl Baileys and the Derek Wittenbergs, the Tommy DiNardos, the Harold Thompsons, Alvin Battles, and just a tremendous array of talent from that year. The only guys not here because they just simply could not make it because of other commitments, Cozell McQueen, Lorenzo Charles playing over in Europe, and, of course, Sidney Lowe, who's the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, is at a coaches meeting in the All-Star break. But this is a gathering, Gary, not only to remember 1983, but also, I think, a tribute to Jimmy V. I don't think there's anyone that doesn't know his situation. Let's go to C.A. Dillon now across the court. In Johnston, here we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the William D. Reynolds Coliseum. And welcome to this afternoon of celebration of Wolfpack basketball. In 1974, David Thompson, Tommy Burleson, and Monty Towle led Coach Norm Sloan's Wolfpack to its first NCAA title, climaxing a two-year record of 57 wins, only one loss, and they ended UCLA's reign as the king of college basketball. Then in 1983, Jim Valvano's cardiac pack did it again. Today, North Carolina State University commemorates the 10th anniversary of that 1983 NCAA championship as we welcome back the Cinderella team and many others who thrilled in and survived their success. And to help us relive this special time in Wolfpack athletics is a very special person who was at the pit in Albuquerque in 1983 doing the telecast when it happened. Let's give a big Wolfpack welcome to Brent Musburger of ABC Sports.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. It is wonderful being surrounded by Wolfpack pride once again. And it's impossible for me to believe that a decade has passed since one of the most exciting periods in the history of college basketball. When we go back to the end of that season, all of you fans realize that the Wolfpack wasn't even assured of a spot in the NCAA tournament until the ACC tournament, when they went on a bid. This team won 9 straight games to win it all, 8 of them by a total of 17 points. When we got to Albuquerque, to be perfectly honest, there was not an expert in the land who thought that North Carolina State could win it all. They thought the championship was between Houston and Louisville, and how wrong they were. Phi Slamma Jamma did a great job in the semifinals, but when it got to the championship game, in one of the greatest efforts I have ever seen, it was the Wolfpack pride prevailing. I'm going to ask everybody now. We want to bring down the house lights now and go back, and I want you to enjoy one more time those wonderful final seconds.
All Jim Valvano has ever asked for from his ball club is to be in a position at the end of the game to at least have a chance to win. Can you believe it? The national championship resting now in the Wolfpack hands. 44 seconds left. The game tied at 52 all. The Pack with the ball. How are they going to set it up? How are they going to work it? They're going to just take all the time off and set up for the last shot. Maybe take it at 5 or 6 seconds. Houston's defense will be swarming. You better believe it. This is going to be a tough 44 seconds for all those young men out there on the floor. But isn't it great to be in that position? Indeed it is. Wally Osley here with the position that we have to call it for you. Inbounds. The Wolfpack has it in midcourt. The clock is ticking. Wittenberg's double team gets it to Gannon, who checked in. Now to Lowe. A half minute left in the ball game. Wittenberg, double team, goes to Gannon. State has it spread out right now. A lob to Bailey. 25 seconds left. Thurl gets it back to Gannon out of Wittenberg at the center line. Now along in the left corner. Back down to Bailey on the left sideline. To Gannon in the middle. They're spread in four corners. Back to Wittenberg. 14, 13. Now to Gannon. Gannon back to Lowe, 10 seconds. Now Sidney goes to Bailey in the corner. 5 seconds left to Wittenberg. Wittenberg tries about a 30-footer. No good, step back. Lorenzo Charles, State! Lorenzo Charles slams it in. A missed shot from 35 feet. Lorenzo Charles grabbed it, stuffed it back in. The Cinderella team.
And now the spotlight hits members of the 1983 National Championship team. Going from one player to another, the spotlight scanning each of their faces. The Terry Gannons, the Derek Wittenbergs, the Thurl Baileys, the DiNardos, the Alvin Battles. They're all here, remembering 10 years ago. And we're awaiting, of course, the entrance of Jim Valvano. This is a charged atmosphere here at Reynolds Coliseum. You remember Pepperdine and the comeback in overtime. Remember the comebacks against UNLV, and on the story goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the Cardiac Kids. They were also helped by a great staff. The managers, Gary Bryant and Claudia Austin. Team physicians, Doctors Don Rival and James Manley. The trainers, Jim Reebok and Craig Sink. The strength coach, Wright Wayne. The sports information director emeritus, Eddie Seaman. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduate assistant coach, now the general manager of sales at Al Smith Buick here in Raleigh, Max Perry. Currently teaching and coaching the Wake County school system, an assistant coach of the Cardiac Kids, Ed McLean. He's now an assistant coach at the University of Tennessee, Ray Martin. Now an assistant coach for the University of Colorado, an assistant coach here in '83, Tom Abatamarco. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the players. Number 10 from Jamesville, North Carolina, Tommy DiNardo. Tommy's now an engineer for the Glaxo Corporation, the Research Triangle Park. Number 12 from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, George McLean. George working in the mental health field in his hometown. Number 30, from Rayford, North Carolina, Harold Thompson. Harold, now a basketball coach and a teacher at the Hope County High School in Rayford. Not with us right now, but reportedly on his way from the Bronx, where the weather has been nasty today, number 31, Ernie Myers. From Rocky Mount, North Carolina, number 33, Alvin Battle. Alvin is the Sales and Marketing Vice President for AMS Computer Corporation and President of AB Enterprise, a video production company. From Lewisburg, North Carolina, number 34, Quentin Leonard. Quentin is the founder and owner of the Triangle Tree Works Company here in Raleigh. Number 40, from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Walt Dinsmore. Walt is a sales representative for the Carolina Container Company. Now from Raleigh, North Carolina, number 42, Mike Warren. Mike is the co-owner of Huff, Hines & Warren, a private financial service company in Raleigh. From Joliet, Illinois, number 24, Terry Gannon. Terry, as you're aware, does color analyst work on college basketball, and he's the voice of the Charlotte Baseball Knights. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the co-captains of the '83 championship team from Glen Arden, Maryland, number 25, Derek Wittenberg. Derek, now an assistant coach at the University of Colorado. And also, on his way right now, it's All-Star Weekend. He was a big member of this team. Number 41, Thurl Bailey. Thurl plays with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and certainly everyone here remembers his current coach, who was the youngest head coach in the NBA. And unfortunately, because of a meeting, he's unable to be here. He can probably hear our applause. Number 35 from Washington, Sidney Lowe. The dunk heard round the world, now playing basketball for Turkey in the European Basketball League. He wore number 43 that night, Lorenzo Charles. And finally, another man who's over in the European League playing for Venice. But he was thoughtful enough to author a letter and send a plaque along with 83 red roses yesterday to his coach's wife, number 45, Cozell McQueen. Ladies and gentlemen, it was the greatest coaching job I ever saw. Jim Valvano.
Strains of the Wolfpack fight song in the background. Jim Valvano coming down, greeting each of his former players down the bench. We're awaiting his entrance out here to midcourt to join Brent Musburger. The comeback pack. One comeback after another in 83.
Ladies and gentlemen, we also have some other very special guests that I want to introduce. Welcome back to Reynolds Coliseum, these former Jim Valvano players. From Jimmy's first team, Craig Watts, a 4-year letterman from 1978 to 1981. Craig is now a service manager for Unicopy and resides here in Raleigh. 4-time NCAA tournament performer for the Wolfpack from 1986 to 1989, a member of the 87 Atlantic Coast Conference Championship team, who also earned all ACC honors in 1989. Now playing for the New Jersey Nets, from Leland, North Carolina, Chucky Brown. The starting center on the Wolfpack's 1987 ACC championship team, who earned both all ACC first team and all ACC tournament honors in 88. Now a member of the Philadelphia 76ers from Kinston, North Carolina, Charles Shackelford. Ladies and gentlemen, this young man came to the Wolfpack without much fanfare, but he became a 4-year letterman. Fan favorite was work ethic, standout play. He played for Coach Les Robinson in 92, led the ACC in rebounding, was second in scoring. He is now standout rookie of the Washington Bullets, Tommy Guglielmo. He is now the head basketball coach at Northwestern. But while he was coaching at Rutgers, he taught Jimmy V all he knows about basketball today. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Foster. That's the loudest ovation ever for a one-time Duke coach this spring. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank everybody for returning, and now representing the thousands of Wolfpack Club members, Mr. Charlie Bryant, the Director of Athletic Development and Executive Secretary of the Wolfpack Club. Also here with us today, the man who believed deeply in Jimmy Valvano's abilities as a broadcaster. He's the president of ABC Sports, Dennis Swanson. Representing Jimmy V's close friends and business associates, Mr. Don Shea, the soccer coach here at State, George Tarantina, and former coach Dick Stewart. And for the current basketball team and coaching staff, we welcome the Wolfpack's head basketball coach, Les Robinson. representing the athletics department and the university administration, athletics director Todd Turner. And ladies and gentlemen, as you're well aware, there is another coach who has done an outstanding job here in Raleigh. A great job, as a matter of fact. Your head football coach, we're going to bring him up now, Dick Sheridan. Very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm very proud to be part of this occasion to honor the 1983 National Championship basketball team. It's a great honor for me to be part of this, to honor these players, the staff, and especially the man in charge who put it all together and made it happen. To be part of this is very difficult because I'm representing a lot of people. I'm representing all of you. Today we are honoring more than just this magnificent accomplishment. We're honoring the determination and the desire, the effort, the pride, the optimism, the courage that characterizes this basketball team. We honor their example. We honor what they have accomplished. We honor the spirit that overcame obstacles and disadvantages, liabilities, hardships, that overcame all the odds and all the naysayers. We honor that spirit. And we honor the spirit of the man that is the wellspring for that spirit. We honor the man who embodies those characteristics of desire, determination, effort, and pride, and courage, and optimism, Jim Valvano.
A standing ovation for Jimmy V. You're listening to a broadcast reminiscence of the 1983 National Championship. Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID on the Wolfpack Capital Sports Network.
I'm part of this ceremony not because I had anything to do with the 1983 championship team. I'm part of this ceremony because of the great respect and appreciation I have for this man. I proudly represent the feelings of the coaches at NC State, all of his friends, all of you Wolfpack fans, and countless others across this country. I represent the feelings of appreciation and pride that we all share in Jim Valvano. We have this appreciation and respect because we know Jim. We know the love and the loyalty that he's given us. And today we want to give some of that back. We know his family, his wonderful wife Pam and his lovely daughters, Nicole, who's an NC State graduate, Jamie, who's an NC State student, and their youngest daughter, Leanne. We know them. Those of us who know Jim, we know a talented, versatile man. We know his energy, his passion. We know his intellect. We know his world-class wit and sense of humor. We know his compassion for other people. We know his honesty and openness. There's no pretentiousness in Jim Valvano. He lives up to the motto of our state, to be rather than to seem. Those of us who know Jim know his devotion to North Carolina State. We know the countless hours of effort that he has devoted and spent in behalf of this university, and we appreciate it. We know, and these players know, the dedication that he has for his players, his efforts for them, and the opportunities that he's provided for them. They know that, and we know that. We know that many lives have been affected in a positive way by Jim. The lives that are better because Jim Valvano has touched them. I know that because I'm one of them. The help and support that he has given our football program, and for me personally, I will always appreciate. And it means a great deal to me to count him as my friend. Jim, you fought a lot of battles for all of us, both inside this arena and outside of it, and we want to thank you for that. And this gratitude and this support and this love that you have from the people here is sincere, it's real, it's through all of the good times plus the tough times. It's been there through reality and through times where fantasy and myth prevailed. Our love and support has been there in battles past and is constant through battles of the present. Jim, you've earned our respect, you've earned our appreciation, you've earned our love. You've inspired us, you've led us to levels of unprecedented achievement. You've raised us up. You've shown us the view from the mountaintop. And all along the way, you made us enjoy it and have fun at the same time. So today, we raise you up in triumph again to just simply and sincerely say, thank you, and we love you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Valvano.
Dick Sheridan and V hug. Pam, his wife, comes out and joins her husband, Jim. Hand in hand, they step up to the mic together.
That banner up there. I like that guy.
pointing to the banner here to our right,
Thank you.
the 1983.
I'm at a loss for words. Not really. You know, that was too good to be true. I have been fortunate in my lifetime to make a lot of good decisions, some bad ones, but probably the best thing that I've ever done in my life was the day that I said, I've got to do something to make sure University of Georgia doesn't get our football coach, Dick Sherry. Because we've got, as you know as well as I do, the best football coach in America right here. And the thing I'm most happy is Dick told me I don't have to still send him the checks monthly now that everything's been taken care of. It is, I can't put it in words. People say to me, what do I miss most about coaching? I'm going to tell you what I miss most about not being at NC State, and that is I was always able to do this next thing and get a response, and I can't do it anymore. And I know I can do it now. And in '83, after we won a championship, we came back. You remember, those of you who were here in this building, I know we had about 45 million people that day in this building, and I've met them all. But I was able to, at any time during my 10 years, I could do this. I could go, na 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 na. That's power. That's power. See, I miss that. I miss that now when I'm in airports and I go, na 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 na, and they take me away and they put me in a room. I miss that. I've come a long way from in 1980 when Charlie Bryant gave me my first red jacket, and I apologize for the blue, but ABC, I've been trying to get him to change the colors to red now for 3 years. I haven't been able to get that done yet, but anyway, I've come a long way from '83, the Yankee coming here from New York, and Mr. Bryant giving me my first red jacket and telling me to go give a speech in Greenville. And he gave me my first red wolf tie with the 3 wolves on it. And he gave me my red check pants. And he said, 300 people are waiting for you. And you better be good, because the first speech you give is going to be the one they remember. They'll say, this guy is good. Or they're going to say, we hired the wrong fella. And I flew to Greenville, South Carolina for that speech. And gave one heck of a talk, raised $32,000 at an airport in Greenville, South Carolina. As 300 members of the Wolfpack Club wondered, what the heck we got here? This Italian. But anyway, nobody had more fun than I did in the 10 years that I was fortunate enough to be able to stand in that corner right before every game and thank God for the opportunity to coach at North Carolina State University. Let me tell you what the '83 team means to me. They're special, not because they put that banner up there. They're special because they taught me and the world so many important lessons. Number one, hope. What does hope mean? Hope that things can get better in spite of adversity. The '83 team taught us that. When Derek Wittenberg went down and everybody said we couldn't and there was no way we could win, and a kid named Ernie Myers stepped in, and we lost a few, then we won a few, and then Derek came back, and every sports writer in America said that, I remember my favorite quote was that trees would tap dance, elephants would drive the Indianapolis 500, and Orson Welles would skip breakfast, lunch, and dinner before NC State figured out a way to win the NCAA tournament. Well, this team taught me that elephants are going to be driving in the Indianapolis 500 someday. They taught me about hope. The 83 team taught me about dreaming and the importance of dreams, because nothing can happen if not first a dream. If you have someone with a dream, if you have a motivated person with a dream and a goal and a vision, if you have someone who never gives up, who has great hope, and that team taught me the persistence, the idea of never, ever quitting. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop fighting. And the 83 team gave you hope, gave you pride, told you what hard work was about. It gave you the meaning of believing in a cause. And lastly, what they taught me, which is so important, is to love each other. And we don't talk enough about that in sports, but I can't tell you, if you ask me what was said along the line as we went down the road, and the word love was used most of the time. As in Coach, I love you. And as in me, Thurl, I love you. And Terry, I love you. And Whit, I love you. They taught me what love means when you have a goal, when you have a dream, and when you have a belief, and you throw in that concept of never stop believing and loving in each other, and you can accomplish miracles. And that's what the 83 team taught. And today I fight a different battle. You see, I have trouble walking, and I do. And I have trouble standing for a long period of time, and I do. Cancer has taken away a lot of my physical abilities. I can't run over and yell at John Moreau, the referee, like I'd like to right now. I can't do the backflips I like to do with our world-class cheerleaders. I can't do those things anymore. But what cancer cannot touch is my mind, my heart, and my soul. It can't touch those three things. And when people talk about the value of sport and of athletics, remember those things. Because the things that I learned from my basketball team, not just in '83, but every year, the things they taught me were those things I just spoke of, and the things that try to keep me going right now. I have hope that maybe things can get better for me. I have faith in God and in my fellow man that things might get better for me. And I have tremendous love for all of the people who care about me and my family. The thing I miss the most is I miss the Dick Sheridans and the Charlie Bryants, and I miss working with Brent when I can't, and I miss all of you people who write and care and say in such a special way, Jimmy V, don't give up. And I have one final comment, and that is about man right there, Mr. Les Robinson. And it's always easy to stick by people, to love them, and to care about them when times are good. And people did that with me. And when times get bad, the true friends and the true supporters stick by you. I want you all to know, from one coach to another, that Les Robinson is going to hang his own banners up here in a couple of years. That's right. And Coach Sheridan is going to hang his ACC and national championship banners in a few years. And how do I know that? It's because I know what hope and with faith and with belief and with hard work and good people can do. That's what I learned from coaching for 23 years. And it's going to happen all here again. And I promise you, I will never give up my fight. And I'm going to be here to see those things happen to my friends. And if by chance the Lord wants me, he's going to get the best damn broadcaster and ex-basketball coach that they've ever had up there. I'll tell you that. One time. Thank you and God bless you, everybody. Thank you very much.
You're listening to the tribute to Jim Valvano and the 1983 National Championship team here at Reynolds Coliseum. The chant of Jimmy V in the background by this mass well in excess of sellout. Special presentation now.
Thank you, Jim. And I know that everyone here shares their love, along with the 83 team and all the other players who have had the wonderful opportunity to play for you, and certainly for those who have had the opportunity to work with you. And Coach Robertson, if he'll take that out, and we have the glass slipper, the original glass slipper from Cinderella. It does indeed fit.
Alluding to the famous call by Wally, of course, at the end of the Houston game, the Lorenzo Charles dunk. It is a glass slipper mounted on a pedestal. The Wolfpack fight song in the background.
Well, Gary, you've witnessed a lot of great moments here at Reynolds Coliseum. This has to be one of the more emotional moments, I would think, over your long, almost 20-year broadcast career here doing the Wolfpack.
Indeed. There are times when you're feeling sore, when they sink to their lowest depths, and I've been able to experience everything here at Reynolds. This has to rank right up there with one of the more memorable moments in the history of this great edifice that's been here since 1949.
Now, the players from that 1983 National Championship team crowding around Jim Valvano near midcourt as the fans continue to stand here at Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh. Truly an electric moment here today before the Duke State basketball game. You've been listening to live coverage of NC State's salute to the 1983 Wolfpack National Championship basketball team and Coach Jim Valvano. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Capital Sports Network.
The
the second straight game, NC State will be facing a basketball team without a key player. Wednesday night, Florida State was missing 2 starters, and the Wolfpack almost had the upset. Today, Grant Hill won't take the floor for Duke. Hill's toe injury is so severe, his status is indefinite.
His is more of a week-to-week, I think, than day-to-day. And I feel bad for him because that's what you want to play.
That's Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski, who's trying to regroup his club after losing to Virginia Thursday night and falling into the ACC second division. The Pack wants to get even for a 36-point drubbing it took in Durham a month ago. It's a Tobacco Road tangle next.
NC State basketball on the Capital Sports Network, brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers with that fresh, pure, natural taste. Nothing beats a Bud. BC Headache Powder. No matter where you're hurting, nothing works faster than BC. Hardee's, the place for fresh fried chicken, perfect for pre-game parties. American Airlines, proud sponsor of the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Cablevision of Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Greensboro, Fayetteville, and Charlotte. Look at all the things we are. CarQuest Auto Parts stores. You'll find it at CarQuest. Exxon and its independent dealers and distributors, who invite you to try Exxon 93 Supreme Gasoline. For high performance, rely on the Tiger. First Citizens Bank. At First Citizens, North Carolina is our state of affairs. State Farm Insurance, with more than 300 State Farm agents throughout North Carolina who support Wolfpack basketball. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Golden Corral. We bring you great taste, great prices, great value. Golden Corral. Now, with an inside look at the game with Coach Les Robinson, here's Gary Dornberg.
After a memorable remembrance and look back to 10 years ago here at Reynolds Coliseum, it's time for the 1993 Wolfpack to focus on the game at hand today, and that is the Duke Blue Devils. Not that this particular Wolfpack team this year has ever lost focus of each game out. I know that the festivities were great, and it was a wonderful moment here at Reynolds Coliseum that we've celebrated left, but I doubt seriously that this Wolfpack team in 1993 has ever lost focus of the task at hand.
No, we haven't, Gary, but to focus a little bit on the ceremony, it was a great moment in Wolfpack athletics and one that we'll long remember. That's a team, and the memories it brings, we will all cherish for many years. I personally was in Albuquerque, sitting down there on about the 4th or 5th row, and it's something that I'll never forget. I was very proud then, as now, and always before, and for many years in the future, proud to be a Wolfpacker, and it's moments like that that certainly make that possible, and we're all very happy and proud to have brought back this great team and Coach Valvano and to enjoy the festivities today.
Let's talk about this Wolfpack team in 1993, and right now, last couple of weeks in particular, this team has really come together and has played some very good basketball. You get the sense that not only are they making the adjustment to all of the adversity, and that's been ongoing season long, but they're also making the adjustment into the philosophy and what you want executed on the floor.
Well, I think that's right, Gary. We've come a long way as a basketball team in the last 6 weeks, and we're starting to, better focus on the court activities, and in particular basketball. Our defenses, our offenses, and the concentration has been much better, and we just have not had the outside obstacles and things that break our concentration occur here of late, and I've really been pleased with the players' progress.
Probably the most notable progress has been in really 2 or 3 areas. You can talk about individuals like Mark Lewis continuing to progress each time out. You can talk about Mark Davis trying to get his shot back, and it's starting to come. It's been slow this year doing that. But the guard play, I think, has been quite decisive for the most part, and the turnovers have been down because of that.
Well, you're right. I would say that's probably the key element in our progress is the turnovers number going down. Because when you turn that basketball over, not only are you not getting a good look at an opportunity of scoring, but you're setting that other team up, your opponent, for an easy offensive situation, and it hurts you defensively, not to mention the morale aspect, and you just can't give them the back. I mean, you're going to make turnovers, but you've got to keep it down that 11, 12, 13 range, and too many times this year we were up there at the 18 to 25, and that you're exactly right. That's probably been the most glaring improvement on this basketball team.
The Florida State game, because they didn't have Sir and Edwards and these guys, may be considered by some as a setback. I thought that the way the Wolfpack handled the last couple of minutes, particularly the last few seconds in particular, that's something that you can build on for the game today, I would think.
Well, you're right, and in line with what you said earlier, we've been able to focus more on basketball. Against Tennessee, against Florida State the other night, we used timeouts well. The players have been focused. They've adjusted to situations. We've come back. We've been ahead, and it's just been more basketball here of late. And we went through a period there where, timeouts weren't even a factor. In reviewing the last Duke film, I didn't even show it much to the team because we weren't the same basketball team. Our confidence, I looked at some of the shots we missed in the first 8 minutes of that game, and you can't expect to compete with anyone missing those shots. And why do you miss shots like that? It's confidence, and we weren't a real confident team there for a good portion of early January.
I'll talk to Coach here in just a couple of minutes about the Duke Blue Devils and the problems that they offer today, right after this on the Wolfpack Capital Sports Network.
On any corner, you can feel the beat. So grab a cool Budweiser, we're singing in the street. So here's to you for doing all those things. The way you do, I'm glad you're here. 'Cause you're the best and brightest of beer. Nothing beats our best. Nothing beats a Bud.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
You can see it in their eyes. They're pushing to raise the benchmark of quality. And after 3 million miles of testing, the people of Exxon know Exxon Supreme Gasoline offers the highest level of engine cleaning, all for one reason. For proven high performance you can rely on.
Let the tiger set you free. Rely on the tiger.
February's the perfect month to party on with HBO and Cinemax. HBO has exclusive extreme close-up comedy with Wayne's World, exciting suspense and seduction with Richard Gere and Kim Basinger in Final Analysis, and explosive World Championship boxing with heavyweight champ Riddick Bowe. If you like movies, get Cinemax. You'll see a different kind of movie every day of the week, from Monday's comedies to Sunday's classics. Get into February entertainment with HBO and Cinemax. Call Cablevision of Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Greensboro, Fayetteville, and Charlotte.
We're continuing our talk with Coach Les Robinson here prior to the Duke North Carolina State game at Reynolds Coliseum. The Duke Blue Devils, it's tough even to consider them coming off a loss, but they've had about 5 losses now in conference play. I'm not sure I was really prepared for that. I really didn't think that they would go through the conference season undefeated, or that they would run through the conference that they've had the last couple of years, but I wasn't quite prepared for 5 losses this year, Les.
Well, I think a lot of people might be surprised, but this is the number 1 conference in America according to the power ratings right now, and people don't argue with that year in and year out anyhow. They've got to go to a lot of tough places. They're out of the conference schedule is a very difficult one, and what they've accomplished over the past 5 or 6 years is unbelievable. And on the downside of that is the expectations, right now are beyond what maybe they are doing, and that's because the expectations are really off the chart.
Well, fans do get spoiled, there's no question about it, but regardless of the 5 losses, this is a formidable team. Right now they're sitting at 5th place, and I know you want to concentrate on today, but I really think that when the ACC tournament rolls around, if they're in 4th or 5th place, that's not a real good omen for the number 1 seeded team.
It's not a good omen for the 4th or 5th place team either. It's opposite them in the bracket. I wouldn't want to, I won't say that. I would want to be in that position, but some of the other teams I know would not want to be there because you certainly couldn't relish playing Duke in the first round of the tournament, especially with great expectations of advancing.
Carolina plays great defense, and a lot of teams in this conference do. Duke plays a very special brand of hard-nosed man-to-man. How would you rate the defensive effort that you get out of Duke compared to others in the ACC?
Well, I think the team they just played, Virginia, plays excellent man-to-man defense, and the percentage teams shoot against them is indicative of that. But North Carolina plays great defenses, as is well documented. But no team in the country plays any better night in and night out over the last half a dozen years than Duke in terms of their pressure on the ball, their help, and just their overall team defense. It's really phenomenal.
We'll continue with more of our pregame. Coach will be back right before tip-off with the keys to the contest. We'll be talking to Coach Mike Krzyzewski. We'll also be hearing from Todd Fuller. Gary Hahn will rejoin us here to set the scene for Duke, North Carolina State in just a couple of minutes.
At Golden Corral, we have a 20-year tradition of serving our customers with a smile, with courtesy, and by knowing the answers to all their questions.
Everyone's so courteous and so helpful and friendly.
Nobody rushes you out. They just keep filling up your coffee or teacup.
If you brought your entire family, everybody would be able to eat here.
The taste is delicious.
You need to come to Golden Corral, because we're going to make you happy.
Great taste, great prices, great value at Golden Corral.
In the Tar Heel State, State Farm is there helping North Carolina families stay up to date. A State Farm agent is there to help you keep up with your changing insurance needs. Auto, home, life, and health. Ask about a free family insurance checkup now. From Winston-Salem to Wilmington, a State Farm agent is there to help you keep all your coverages up to date.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's a day packed full of emotion in a place where a lot of up and down emotions have occurred throughout the years. Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh. Moments ago, NC State paid tribute to its 1983 national championship team here in this building, and now the Pack will try to ride some of that emotion to what it hopes will be an upset win over 7th-ranked Duke. Hello again, everybody. Gary Hahn along with Gary Dornberg and our Wolfpack Capital Sports Network crew welcoming you back for another afternoon of ACC basketball, Tobacco Road style. State has certainly been an undermanned team all year, so when you take a look at the rosters of these two teams, it's really ironic that the Pack could be facing a team without its big gun for the second straight game. Wednesday night, the Pack nearly upset Florida State. The Seminoles were playing without a couple of suspended stars, Bob Sura and Douglas Edwards. Today, Duke will be without leading scorer Grant Hill, who's recovering from a severely sprained toe. With Hill in the lineup, Duke waxed NC State a month ago in Durham by 36 points. But Wolfpack guard Lakeista McCullers says the situation's a little bit different today.
The crowd was really into the game, and we were a little scared, a little tight over there. But, this time we had the crowd on our side, and I think we'll be a lot more loose, and, they're going to be without their top gun. Grant Hill, but who's to say? We've been like 4 or 5 players the whole season, so and I don't want to really make that a big issue or anything, but he is a top player for them.
You bet Grant Hill's a major player for Duke. He leads the Blue Devils in scoring, 18.3 points a game. He leads them in rebounding and almost 7 boards an outing. He's also number 1 in steals and number 2 in assists. And just to show you what happens when Grant Hill's not in the lineup, well, you take the game Wednesday night. Duke loses to Virginia and Charlottesville 58-55, but just to show you how talented this Duke team is, even without Hill, the Blue Devils came within a 3-pointer at the buzzer of tying that game and sending it into overtime. So make no mistake about it, Duke may be 7-5 and in 5th place in the ACC, but this is still an NCAA tournament team, and it has enough horses to beat most teams in college basketball. Emotionally, Duke, well, the Blue Devils have to be down a little bit. The loss at Charlottesville hurt because it dropped Duke into a position it's not accustomed to. The Blue Devils now in the 2nd division of the ACC. They've dropped 2 in a row. Duke hasn't lost 3 straight games since the 88-89 season, but even back then, the Blue Devils went to the Final Four. State may have the emotional edge today thanks to the ceremonies honoring the 83 national championship team that ended within the half hour, but the pack will have to guard against coming out a little bit too pumped up. Listen to guard Lakeista McCullough.
I think it'll be a little emotional out there and everything. So, we just gotta go out there and just keep our composure and not play, out of control or anything, but stay silent throughout the basketball game, especially early. And I think, things will work out for us if we can do those things.
An optimistic Lakeista McCullough. He's certainly right about one thing. The pack has to be strong with the basketball very early in the game and hopefully hitting some shots. If those shots aren't falling for Duke early in the game, well, you have to figure the Blue Devils might be having some second thoughts about their ability to win this game. That's because the Duke team has just shot 36% against Virginia Thursday and 41% against Wake Forest last Saturday. So this Duke basketball team, despite all of its talent, is in a big shooting slump right now. And it's a team that's finding the going pretty hard when it comes to hitting the basket. And with Grant Hill out of the lineup, Duke is looking for Bobby Hurley for help. But in his last 2 games, Hurley is shooting just 30%. How's Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski trying to cope with all of this? Well, we'll find out next when we return for more of our Duke State pregame.
High performance from a basketball team doesn't just happen. You need a game plan, a strategy for execution. Likewise, for high performance from your car, you also need a strategy, which is why you should try Exxon 93 Supreme Gasoline. For a cleaner engine, smooth acceleration, and a full 93 octane, rely on the Tiger. Rely on Exxon 93 Supreme Gasoline.
Making it to the pros means giving them your best. And being a professionally trained auto technician means installing only the best. Like Gates hoses from CarQuest. Today's engines are putting added strain on hoses. If you haven't changed hoses lately, have it done now before they go. And insist on Gates. So when you want the best, look for the pro who installs CarQuest. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
NC State hosting Duke this afternoon here in Raleigh. Gary Hahn and Gary Dornberg back with you courtside at Reynolds Coliseum. As mentioned earlier, these are not extremely upbeat days for Duke's basketball program. The Blue Devils have slipped into the ACC second division. They've lost 2 in a row. They'll be playing today without Grant Hill. Tony Moore, a substitute guard, is going to miss the rest of the season. with a shoulder injury. So Duke is down to just 8 scholarship players, just like NC State. How's Blue Devil coach Mike Krzyzewski coping with all this? Probably pretty well. Let's find out as Gary Dornberg joins the man who's led Duke to back-to-back national championships.
Without Grant Hill in the lineup, Mike, obviously Duke had to have changed considerably as far as what we see on the floor.
Well, it changes it quite a bit, and because he's our most versatile player. If it was any other player, it'd be more of a position substitution. But with Grant, see, when Grant starts the game, he's a perimeter player. As the play goes along, he can become an inside player, and he goes back and forth. And therefore, our substitutions take on. It's not just, well, you got to fill in 35 minutes at the 2 guard. No, you don't. You got to fill it in a number of different places, even at point at times, because he would take over at point when Bobby would be out. So it's changed our team, and we're not as explosive. You're not going to be as good, Gary. I mean, I find it a little bit funny that sometimes we don't make a big thing out of injuries, for an excuse. Losing Grant is a huge loss. I mean, it's not. You're talking about one of the top 10 or 12 kids in the country, so it has a dramatic effect on our team. Certainly, there are a lot of NC State fans listening out there and saying, "What the heck is that guy talking about? Look what we lost." And hey, there's, from an outsider's point of view, I have great empathy for what the NC State programs. I'm just explaining our situation, and geez, no one's had it worse than NC State, and don't take 9 as saying, well, ours is worse. It is worse. Yours is worse, and I have a great deal of admiration for the support that the State fans have given their team and the positive attitude the coaching staff and the kids have taken all season long. So please don't get me wrong.
Since the last time you saw the Wolfpack, the last couple of weeks, the Pack's playing fairly good ball.
Yeah, they are, and because they've had continuity. They although they've had 8 players, they've had all 8 of them. Les has kept a very positive attitude. I think the fact that they're not holding on to win, but they're just playing, and really not just for this season, but for the future. In other words, that's their style. And so the kids are comfortable in it. I think if they're going to be confident, they're going to be confident in that style of play. And Thompson's being a senior now. Yeah, I mean, really a senior. He's been very consistent. And see, I like Curtis Marshall. I think he's real steady, and he has the ability to streak from 3-point range, and that gives them a lot of confidence. I think those 2 guys, being steady for them, gives the foundation for the other guys to have a little bit more confidence. And I think if you look at the last couple of weeks, you probably find that their stats are pretty darn good over these 2 weeks.
That's Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski. We'll talk to Todd Fuller, one of the stars for the Wolfpack, coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Hey, Bud, Papa Cold Bud, hold on tight. It's a Zydeco party gonna dance all night. Hey, sweet thing, here's to you. Nobody does it like you do. I'll tell you the truth, one thing is clear. You're the best and Bud's your beer. Nothing beats our best, Budweiser. Nothing beats the Bud. And Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Interest rates haven't been this low since Bones McKinney and Frank McGuire coached in the ACC. There's never been a smarter time to borrow. And there's never been a smarter loan than a pay-any-day loan from First Citizens Bank. Pay-any-day costs less than ordinary consumer loans because it's simple interest, and you can make your payment any day of the month without penalty. See First Citizens for a pay-any-day loan. But hurry, we don't expect to see these interest rates back next season. Member FDIC.
Three, two, one, mark. Todd, it's always difficult. Mark.
We're getting set for ACC basketball on this Sunday in Raleigh, North Carolina. Gary Hahn with Gary Dornberg back at Reynolds Coliseum. It's Duke and NC State. Earlier we mentioned Duke's shooting woes during this two-game losing streak of the Blue Devils, but in both losses to Wake Forest and Virginia, the Blue Devils were also out-rebounded 40-29 by Wake and then 47-39 by UVA. Well, one guy who's going to be counted on to pound the boards today for the Wolfpack is freshman Todd Fuller. He's played well of late. In his last 4 games, he's averaging 8 points and 6 rebounds. Let's get Todd's thoughts on his play in today's rematch with Duke. All set to fire a couple of quick questions his way is Gary Dornberg.
Todd, it's always difficult to catch the Blue Devils at any time during the campaign and any season here lately, but catching them after a loss makes it even more difficult, it would seem.
Right, we know that Duke's going to be fired up coming in here this afternoon to play us, especially coming off this latest loss to Virginia, so we're going to have to play that much better tonight.
What did you learn the first time out against the Cherokee Parkses and Tony Langs and the Meeks and these guys that maybe you could use today?
Those guys are all solid inside players, and you just got to play good fundamental basketball against them if you want to win, beat those guys. For myself and Kevin and Mark Lewis, other inside guys in the team, we just got to play that much better tonight and, just go back to fundamentals.
I'm not sure that they try to, on the floor through talk, intimidate you, but they certainly do through their play. Is this an intimidating ball club today?
They try to be intimidating. Their defense is swarming, and they play good, solid defense, especially. And just about playing that defense, that can intimidate some teams. And we just got to today not let that bother us, and just play good, solid, fundamental basketball, and maintain good ball control, and on offense just work it around.
That's Wolfpack center Todd Fuller. We'll have the announcement of the starting lineups. We'll have the tip-off. Duke, North Carolina State, here on this special day at Reynolds Coliseum, coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Another day begins in Europe, just as it has for centuries. But along with the familiar sights and sounds of the old world comes a silver bird from the west. Because this morning, and every morning, in cities all across Europe, just as the new day arrives, so do we. American Airlines. This morning, American Airlines will touch down in 13 European cities, in 9 different countries, non-stop from cities across the U.S. So whether it's business or pleasure that brings you to Europe, fly the airline that can have you there as early as tomorrow morning. American Airlines, something special to Europe.
Gary Dornberg along with Gary Hahn here at Reynolds Coliseum. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the Duke Blue Devils, Tony Lang, 6'8", 205-pound junior. He's averaging 6.4 points per game, 5-point rebounds per game. Chris Collins starting for the Duke Blue Devils at 4.5 points per contest. And Cherokee Parks at center, 6'11", sophomore, averaging 11.8 points a game. Thomas Hill at the guard spot. He's a 6'5" senior. He's averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds a game. Bobby Hurley is a 6-foot senior. He's averaging 16.6 points per game and 7.2 assists per game. For the Wolfpack, Lakeista McCullough averaging 8.9 points per contest and 2.5 rebounds. His running mate in the backcourt is Curtis Marshall, 10.9 points a game, 4 assists a game. From Utica, Mississippi, Mark Davis, a sophomore, 8 points a game, 4.6 rebounds per contest. And a guy that's come on strong here in the past few weeks, Mark Lewis, out of the Triad area, averaging 6.8 points a game, 3.6 rebounds per contest. And Kevin Thompson, the senior leader from Winston-Salem, 14.2 points a game, 8.1 rebounds per contest. How do the coaches feel? Well, this starting lineup is incidentally brought to you by Exxon and its independent dealers and distributors, who invite you to stop by and try Exxon's lineup of Phase 4 gasoline and Superflow motor oil. How do the coaches feel about this game? Here's Les Robinson.
When I think of Duke basketball of late, the first thing that comes to my mind, besides their great pressure defense, is Bobby Hurley. He has really hurt us, not only just running an offense and his exceptional defensive play, but he scored a lot against us, and especially from three-point range. He's made three-point shots. I don't care if maybe he hits 4 in a given game against us. The 1 or 2 that he's made in certain games, where maybe like last year we cut it to 5 or 4 real late in the half, he hits that 3 that breaks our back. Even this year, early on in the game, some of his scoring is what really hurt us. And in the first year,
That's Les Robinson talking about the effect of Bobby Hurley, who has been in a shooting slump. Let's hope it continues one more game. What about Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski?
I would think they'd be charged up no matter what, because the Pack fans have given them such good support. They haven't always had the place filled, but the people who've been there have been very, very positive. I'm really pleased that the 83 team is honored on this day, and the fact that the Duke game was the game that they chose to honor the team, and especially because of my close friend Jimmy Valvano, and I'm just glad I'm here.
That's Coach Mike Krzyzewski talking about this special day and this special game. Duke, North Carolina State. They're shaking hands here at midcourt with a call to play-by-play. The voice of the Wolfpack, Gary Hahn.
Thank you, Gary. Frank Scagliano throws it up as Kevin Thompson and Cherokee Parks jump, and Duke wins the tap. And it's Thomas Hill getting in left wing to Collins, who flies a long jumper. No good, and the Pack's got the rebound. Lakeista McCullough clears it away to Marshall. He brings it up across the timeline from right to left. Marshall takes it down the right wing. Closed by Hurley. Goes to the hoop. Flips it in the lane to Lewis. Knocked away. McCullough's got it between the ring. Right side to Davis. Down low to Thompson. Lays it up and in. Kevin Thompson gives NC State a 2-0 lead. We're just underway here at Reynolds Coliseum. Hurley with the basketball on the right wing to Thomas Hill. Now to Tony Lang. Picked up by Lewis. Stayed in the man-to-man. Lang tries to get by him on the dribble. He cuts him off. Lewis does. And Lang flips it back to Hurley. Hurley standing out by the timeline now with 24 on the shot clock. Man-to-man by State. Hurley in low to Lang. He lays it up. Missed the shot. He's fouled by Kevin Thompson. Tony Lang set a screen and then released to the basket. He screened for Hurley. McCullough was picked off and then had to switch to go with Tony Lang, who got to the basket first. Kevin Thompson came over on the help defense, and it was too late. First foul on Kevin Thompson, and Lang goes to the free throw line.
They're a good free throw shooting team, 72.3%. He's hit 68%.
Lang's first free throw is good. Tony Lang, 6.4 points a game, 5 rebounds a contest. We played about a minute here at Reynolds Coliseum. Not many empty seats today. Most of the fans getting here about 2:30 for the special ceremonies honoring the 1983 National Championship team. Second free throw missed. Thompson keeps it alive. It's knocked out of bounds from behind over Thompson's shoulder by Cherokee Parks. And State will inbound. And pressing a little bit man-to-man in the backcourt, Collins and Hurley against McCullough and Marshall. McCullough will bring it up against Collins. Freshman against sophomore. McCullough takes him down the right wing, flips it away to Lewis. He starts to drive in the right corner, shut off by Tony Lang. Flips it outside of Davis, clears it to McCullough. Now left side of Marshall, down low to Thompson. He lost it, tips it outside. Collins has got it for Duke. First turnover of the ball game for NC State. Collins to Hurley, left wing. And now Hurley will set up the offense and dribble to the point. Hurley penetrates to the hoop. Deals it to Lang, hits the deck, foul call. Hurley went down. And it'll be an NC State foul on Lakeista McCullough. Lakeista's played very well lately. He's got a streak going. He scored 14 points a game in his last 4 outings with only 6 total turnovers, Gary.
That's an early foul that doesn't bode well. He got into foul trouble last time out.
Inbounds right wing. Thomas Hill takes it baseline and lays it in. Thomas Hill with the first field goal for Duke, and the Blue Devils have a 3-2 lead. 18:20 to play first half. Here's Marshall taking it to the basket. Lays it up, no good. Tap by Thompson, no good. Thompson follows again. It's in. Kevin Thompson on the stick back, and State has a 5-3 lead. Here's Hurley across the timeline to the line, down the lane, feeds Parks. He dumps it off in low to Collins, who flips it up to the basket. It's way short of the mark, but he's hit from behind by Mark Lewis. Second Wolfpack foul, first on Lewis. Make it the third Wolfpack foul. Forgot to write down the one moments ago against Lakeista McCullough. Collins to the line. He's the son of former NBA star Doug Collins, who played so many years with the Philadelphia 76ers. His father, a great collegiate out of Illinois State. 4-3, NC State with the lead, and Collins ties the game with that free throw. We played almost 2 minutes here at Reynolds Coliseum. Doug Collins getting a rare starting opportunity because of the injury to Grant Hill and the somewhat inconsistent play here lately of Marty Clark. Collins makes the second free throw. State bringing it down, attacking the goal to our left. Here's Lewis, deep out of the backcourt, stripped by Tony Lang. Lang on the breakaway, lays it up, he jammed it. Thought he was going to lay it up, but he took it right in and jammed it. Antonio Lang with 3 points, 7-4. Duke with a 3-point lead. Lakeista McCullough deep out on the right sideline. Out dribbles to the middle of the floor. Gives to Marshall against Hurley. Duke at a man-to-man. Marshall flips it to Davis between the rings. Hawked by Thomas Hill, one of the best defensive guards in college basketball. Now left side of McCullough. Low post to Thompson, who lays it in.
KT's got all the points for the Wolfpack. He's 3 for 4 in shooting.
And oh, is he moving well without the ball inside. Mercy. We go for station identification. We'll get it as quickly as possible. Duke with the basketball. Hill with it. Down low post right to Cherokee Parks. Turns. Jump pass outside to Hurley. Hurley top of the key for Duke. Picked up by Marshall. In low to Collins on the back door. He lays it in.
Hurley knows where everybody is on the floor at all times.
Collins with 4 points. He beat Lakeista McCullough on the back door. It's 9-6. State with the ball, trailing by 3. 16:53 left to play in the first half. McCullough left baseline. Now he'll dribble out of traffic on the wing and gives it away. Top of the key to Davis. Davis against Thomas Hill. Left-hand dribble down the left wing. On top to Lewis. Swings it right side of Marshall. Down low to Thompson. It's knocked away from behind by Thomas Hill. Let's pause 10 seconds. Station identification. This is the Wolfpack Capital Sports Network. Mark Davis triggers it in for State. Side of the lane to Curtis Marshall. In low to Lewis. His shot rejected by Cherokee Parks out of bounds. He knocked it back into the Blue Devil bench.
I would say he knocked more than just the ball, too, but no foul.
Lewis took a pretty good thud right there. Pretty good pounding by Parks, but no whistle blown.
Mark's got a 44 in his chest, I think.
Pack trailing by 3. Here's Thompson on the high post. Right side, it goes to Davis. Takes his man baseline. That's Hill. Gets by him, lays it up. Missed the shot. Tipped up and in by Davis. Davis following his own missed shot. And that cuts the Blue Devil lead down to 1.
That's a couple of offensive boards now the Wolfpack's been able to capitalize on.
Well, as we mentioned in the pregame, Duke has been out-rebounded its last 2 times out. This is not a good Duke shooting team at the moment or a good Duke rebounding team. Here's Hurley against Marshall. Fires for 3, right wing, over top of him, no good. Hill skies for the rebound for Duke. Puts it on the floor as it's stripped. But it goes into the hands of Hurley, who dribbles side of the lane, kicks it off to Parks, drives right baseline, lays it up, no. Foul on the play. Is it before the shot?
Yep.
Looked like Parks might have traveled on that drive too, but that's hard to say. Curtis Marshall picking up the foul. His first. That's the team's 4th. We have timeout on the floor as Duke leads State 9-8 here in the early going.
In the Tar Heel State, State Farm is there helping North Carolina's young families with their life insurance. You're a young family. You want life insurance you can live with. A plan that protects your family and respects your budget. An agent who listens and understands your needs. Someone who will be there to help you keep that plan up to date as your needs change. You want life insurance from a State Farm agent.
State Farm is there.
Making it to the pros means giving them your best. And being a professionally trained auto technician means installing only the best. Like top quality belts from Gates. The one thing people overlook most on their cars is the belts. Remember to have your belts checked regularly and insist on quality Gates belts from CarQuest. So when you want the best, look for the pro who installs CarQuest. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
Are you ready? Are you ready, ready, ready? Are you ready for the real food?
You'll love Hardee's chicken because a test said folks prefer the taste of Hardee's over KFC original recipe almost 2-to-1. And right now, we'll give you 8 pieces of Hardee's fried chicken and 4 made-from-scratch biscuits for just $5.99.
Are you ready for some real food?
Hardee's. Limited time offer at participating Hardee's.
This broadcast comes to you through the facilities of the Capital Sports Network. Any rebroadcast or use of the description of this game is prohibited without the express permission of the Capital Sports Network. The announcers on the broadcast are selected by the Capital Sports Network and approved by flagship station WPTF and by the North Carolina State University Athletic Department. The Pack opening up 4 for 7. Good shooting. But they've already committed 2 turnovers, and Duke has scored off both of them. They've got 4 points. Blue Devils have not committed a turnover as yet. They've opened up shooting well, hitting 3 of 5. 1 rebound for Duke, 6 for the Wolfpack, 5 of them offensive boards, hitting the glass great. They've scored a couple of their buckets off offensive rebounds. A bucket by Lang, a bucket by Hill, a bucket by Collins, along with a couple of free throws. 3 buckets by Kevin Thompson and a bucket by Mark Davis, the scoring for both teams.
And speaking of Mark Davis, he's on the bench now as Marcus Wilson checks in, the freshman out of Monroe, into the Pack lineup. 9-8, Duke with the lead, and the Blue Devils will inbound the ball in the right-hand corner with 15:56 left to play in this first half. One other score to pass along from ACC basketball earlier today. Carolina beat Virginia by 20, 78-58. More scores coming up at halftime on our Cablevision scoreboard. Here's Collins, right wing, getting the inbounds pass, top of the key to Hill. To the line, down the lane, puts it up. No, it's blocked away by Lewis. Gets it back, puts it up again, missed the shot. Rebound inside. It's going to be a foul. Cherokee Parks over the back of Kevin Thompson. That's his first. And the first team foul on the Duke Blue Devils. So the Pack now with a chance to take the lead over the nation's 7th-ranked Associated Press team, the Duke Blue Devils. McCullough with the inbounds pass. He'll walk it up. Collins is on him, man for man. McCullough right in front of us. Sideline left. Now dribbles to the middle of the floor. Swings it left side to Marshall. Marshall with the ball above the head. Low post left to Kevin Thompson. Back to Marshall. 3 on the way over Hurley. Good.
Curtis continues some hot shooting. He's had a couple of great games back-to-back.
11-9. State with a lead. 15.5 left to play. Here's Collins to the line, to the lane, to the hoop. He doesn't score. He missed the shot. Rebound. Deflects out and goes out of bounds on the right sideline.
I think Marcus Wilson, last man to touch it for the Pack.
It'll belong to Duke. A flurry underneath the boards, and that ball came out of there like a